Welcome to the Blitzkrieg Pop, guys. This is episode 18, and you got Alex right here from Infinite Collectibles. And since we're in Halloween season, we got none other than the bad motherfucker, Steve Asher, on the line. Steve, can you tell us about yourself?
Oh my God, I'm nobody. You're giving me way too much.
You're bald.
Too many props.
You're fat. We're twins.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Do you have a goatee right now? Because right now I am.
If I could have my way, I'd have a jawline and no goatee. But sometimes I rock a goatee, but generally just 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, no, see, you can pull that off though, man. You've got that vibe. I've kind of got that like a cross between Joe Dirt and Pugsley from Addams Family.
Pugsley, that's awesome. You don't hear Pugsley referenced that often.
That's because I'm old as fuck. But you gotta understand. Well, go right ahead.
Hey, I was gonna say, speaking of old as fuck, we crossed paths years ago. I want the listeners to know through punk rock music. All right, and now we're both. I mean, I don't self-proclaim myself to be a podcaster, but we are on episode 18, right? So
that's something. Man.
How many episodes are you on, brother?
It's not that important, man. I mean, let me think. Probably like 100 and.
That's fucking awesome.
About 120.
House of Asher for our listeners.
House of Asher.
Yes. It's a badass name. I mentioned it earlier to Munch here, and he said, "Oh, that's a great name for the fucking episode." And I said, "No, that's the name of his podcast."
No. you could say around the house or from the
House of Asher.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you.
I like that.
Well, I'll tell you, man. That was one of the damn names I had, but I try. You know me, man. My stage kind of persona thing is different. The Stevie Bastard thing is a little hardcore and stuff, but I'm actually a pretty soft-spoken guy, and just a big, lovable little Ewok guy. So anyway, but my whole thing was House of Asher. I was obviously a big Edgar Allan Poe fan, huge Vincent Price fan, and the House of Usher was there. And somebody's like, "Usher, what's called House of Asher?" And I was like,
"Hey, that's really cool, so man."
Good. Well, I went, no, that's way too dicky. Maybe Eddie Van Halen can call his band Van Halen, but I never had a band called Asher. So
it's cool though. You could be Van Asher.
And I'd be Von Asher.
Von Asher. There you go. And then you can go play with the Misfits. You can open.
I don't know.
I don't know the Misfits. No,
you know what's bad? Well, go ahead. I was just going to say.
When I first met you, you were playing in a band called Rex 84, I think.
Yeah, that was proto. Yeah, that was early because at the time it was me, Chris Perkins, who we call Spooky, and then there was JP, and then there was Carl, and then there was me. And what happened was we were kind of coming together, and they're like, "Hey, this one guy, God bless him, the singer talked a lot like George W. Bush.
Oh,
he had a really strong. Hey, now let's Area 51, and he was like, God bless him. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but it was like having George W. Bush on the mic. And so he'd be singing about, whatever, man, different things, FEMA camps and stuff. Very, very kind of political way out.
As W.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
No, and God bless him. And we did that. You're right. And it was different because these two guys had played some live, but they were more like they listened to like a lot of Neil Young and they listened to a lot of what. So I kind of pulled them into punk.
Yeah.
And it was sort of, which I'm more like sort of an old school Flag, Jerks, Stick Kennedy's, Minor Threat.
Yeah, I knew you cut your teeth in the 80s punk.
That's my mother's milk.
That was yeah. That's the milk we all like. Adam's sitting here and he's into the same stuff. He doesn't have a hot mic, but he's sitting here giving you a nod of approval for Minutemen and Dead Kennedys and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, TSOL and all that shit. Because when I heard like Middle Class Trash and stuff like that, I was like, because it's like I said, it's always different, and I always try to shoot straight with you, because I always said there's some like Ramones songs I like, and I know like the air leaves the room. I'm not. No, of course.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Man, get in line.
I'm kidding.
No, I'm just saying though. I was just more into kind of hardcore, and I come in up through metal and Sabbath and thrash metal, and I kind of come in through like horror punk, like
there's the crossover,
like Cramps and
the
Misfits.
thrash to the metal to the punk,
DRI and all that. Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
Thrash Zone,
and
bro.
Thrash Zone, right? But it was a thing of I had to learn to kind of broaden my stuff. Like after, I don't even know if you knew, like after Rex, which toward the end, which we've never really disbanded. I took over singing chores, and me and Spooky play some, and it's like freaking Spinal Tap. We constantly have drummers coming and going.
That's awesome, man.
And all of that. But we did a thing called Camo Trooper, which is, I'm a big sci-fi nerd, and so we'd have songs like Ode to William the and all these different the Tribbles polka,
which is fucking awesome, dude.
Well, I actually wrote a Tribbles polka. It's a straight up polka. So it was so damn far away from like that, smash the state shit, and that's great and that's wonderful. There's days I feel like it.
Yeah.
But I'm 50 freaking years old, man. Yeah. I am the state. I've become the man.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. You're the man. We know that.
No, yeah, you know what I mean.
Hey, I got a question for you though. When we crossed paths and it was all punk rock and all that, but maybe it might have been 5 years ago, I noticed that you were doing the paranormal research, and then the next time I talked to you, you had the book coming out, and like you really fucking put your boots down to the ground. You Camo Trooper fucking hit the ground running, man. I mean, what the hell happened? We got we have WWE superstars. We have fucking published book guys. We have fucking punk rock people. We have people that own video game stores.
It's not an author, just a book guy.
Oh, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's really cool that lots of people we meet in this area do shit. That's what I'm saying.
Well, man, for me, and like I said, I was a really scared kid when I was small, because I did have some paranormal shit in my home as a kid. And I'm not a guy that sees ghosts in every corner or Elvis in my toes.
Right.
But it was a deal where it scared the hell out of me. And so that's why, early mid 70s, I went to the library and I'm like, hey, do you have a book on ghosts? So I checked out Hans Holzer, who was my dude. Who introduced me to everything, America's first ghost hunter. And so then I kind of cut my teeth on that and learned ghosts can't hurt you. And so I'm like, so now I'm starting to come back into the esoteric section, 133 point whatever. And they're like, okay, well, I need something on spontaneous combustion, sacred geometry, thing on ESP, and you possibly have the English translation from the Latin rites of exorcism, and also including the signs of the cross and holy water application.
You're speaking Greek to me, man.
Well, I mean, I had a little chili bow haircut like everybody did, and they were like, what the hell do we got here?
Yeah.
But they learned, it's just the Asher boy.
That's cool, man. Well, I knew like last time I talked to you, you had one book out called, I think your first book was called The Hauntings of the Kentucky
State Penitentiary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really cool, man. I need to sit down and read that book, because if that was on TV, I'd fucking straight up watch that. You know what I mean?
If I can say this real quick, obviously about House of Asher. I'm also working on History from the Dark Side, which is like little 5-minute little clips about local weird stuff, strange stuff, paranormal stuff, deaths, disappearances, and whatnot. But if you go to SteveEAsher.com, it's all lowercase together, or lowercase together. It's like saying Steve with 2 E's at the end, and then Asher.com. That connects to all my books. And if I can rattle it, Hauntings of the Kentucky State Penitentiary, that's one. Hauntings of the Western Lunatic Asylum, which was the old Western State name before they, stopped using terminology.
And then the Great Mud Flood.
Well, actually, then I had the Hauntings of the St. Vincent's Academy, which is a Catholic orphanage in Morganfield, and there's tons of gnarly stuff in that. Then, yes, the Great Mud Flood. And what's coming out on Halloween, you ask? Hauntings of the Kentucky State Penitentiary, Habitual Hauntings in the Castle on the Cumberland. So it's a follow-up to it. And some of the stories I didn't get to in the first book because I didn't have the full historical record on it.
Wow, man.
So it touches on everything. And then right after that, I have a collection of short stories, which is not all paranormal. Some of it's sci-fi. Some of it's very Lovecraftian. Some of it's H.G. Wellish, if that's a word. And it's called Short Stories for Darker Nights. And then I've got book one of a county's book because there's 120 counties in Kentucky.
Wow.
And I'm doing 60 counties per book, and I've got that one written, and that will also come out. So I've pretty much got things covered up until about 2021 or 22.
I got to tell you, I'm fucking impressed with you, man. Yeah, you're on top of shit, brother.
Well, yeah, cocaine's a hell of a drug, but no,
dude, that's awesome, man. Does this freak your wife out?
What? You're writing the books. See, we started out as a team. And we would kind of go out and just investigate stuff. I've always had an interest. You can understand, like, the thing that you sort of like overnight success with the Caldwell County Paranormals, which is my team. We started out in really like 2005, 2006. Of course, right around the time everybody started watching Ghost Hunters, and it's like, oh, we can actually legitimately do this.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing it since then on the low key. But, we're at the point now we've been able to check out, local museums and things like that.
Man,
and
that's so cool, man.
We're cool enough.
I'm happy for you too, because I get to live a passion-led life. You know what I'm saying? Comic books, video games, punk rock music. It's
all that.
Those are my jobs. I thank God for that. So I understand what it's like to do what you want to do all the time, even though I'm broke as shit.
No. But you're fed on passion, right? So my thing is, in regards of kind of, did it scare my wife? Not really, because you understand. We do a lot with special needs advocacy.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Adoption, and I actually work with special needs adults during the day, teaching life skills.
Yes.
So I have that crew who knows me as not quite so much an academic, but that's my day job, my straight job. And then I have the people who know me as an investigator, who come to me talking about seeing shadows and whatnot, or cats are freaking out. And then you have the people who go,
cats are freaking out.
oh, cats freak clean the hell out. I don't want a cat.
Oh, that's great, man. That's the name of this episode now. The cats are freaking out.
Freaking the hell out. Yeah, I can't. God bless them, or whatever. But cats see too much shit. Dogs will see shit, but they also, whatever, go eat cat poop and run around a circle and chew a pillow, hump a pillow.
Roll in a dead deer's carcass.
Yeah, you can kind of go, I'm not really taking you as a character witness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. So what do you have coming up on the horizon, man? I mean, you said you're busy to 2021. Like, I know you're doing, you got some meet and greets and some signings and shit coming up.
Yeah, actually, it sucks, man, because we were talking. You guys had the big cosplay convention.
Paducah Galaxy. We had it this past week.
Paducah Galaxy, right? Which I went to the first one. I was going to come to the second one. Well, Wild Hair's Rock Shop down at 311. You remember 311, right?
Oh yeah.
I remember 311 very well. And they said, "Hey, would you come be a keynote speaker, do a demonstration, all this stuff?" And I was like, there's a reason it's 311. I haven't been back there since like the 2000s.
Of course.
Back when oh my God, I know this guy's name and I'm blanking. Married Shanna, that was Bill's like wife's sister.
Oh,
Hi-Fi Ninja singer. Ronnie.
Yeah.
Ronnie McCoy.
Gotcha.
He was there. Me and Bill were playing, and I was doing some sort of, I don't know, rockabilly kind of thing. And they're like, "Can you please play it faster?" And I'm like, "Dude, that's cool. I'm down with like speed metal and all the like hardcore punk." He's like, "Yeah, it's just so much better when it's fast." I'm like, "Okay, man." And that's
awesome,
all I remember it. But as of events and things, I did do the thing with Wild Hair Studios, which are actually one of my sponsors now. But as of things that are coming up, on the 28th in the Willard Library. I don't know if you know about Willard Library, but it's haunted as fuck.
That's why I don't know, because I'm scared as fuck. So I don't want to.
People ask me, man. They'll say, "Well, look, man, why do you do what you do?" Which, I mean, I've got friends who are ex-law enforcement like myself, because you remember I worked in the prison system. I worked, as a deputy in different various jails and stuff before I started doing life skills, especially these adults. But I said, it's just different. I don't know. I feel in the element. There's been a time or two it really scared me. We can get on that in a minute if you want to, but I don't know. I feel like I'm in my element. But as of what you were saying about appearances at the Willard Library on the 28th at 6 p.m., I will be doing more or less a keynote speaker, and I will be explaining how little Stevie turned into, paranormal guy, ghost guy. Stevie Bastard. Yeah, they don't call me Stevie Bastard there, man.
I understand. Nobody calls me Hoglog. Trust me that.
Dude,
That's my
I guarantee
name in the
everybody still calls you
queers.
Hoglog.
Hoglog? People go,
Hoglog.
why is your name Hoglog? And I say, it's curly. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
No, that's
anyways,
okay.
I understand the Stevie Bastard thing. But no, I want to ask you though. You ever at any of these places? I mean, like you just said, you got a vibe. You feel scared. I'm scared talking to you. I'm scared I'm going to start levitating and swallow my tongue.
Spitting pea soup and stuff. No, man. It's yeah. I mean, don't. It's one of these deals. All right, you remember? All right, Wolverine, Shing, or Snit, I should say, Snick. They pop out, right?
Yeah.
And he says, "Does that hurt?" And he's like, "Every time."
Oh yeah.
I'm scared. If you go into any situation, be it a prison, be it a whatever, and you feel like you're the top dog in anything, get the hell out. But I go in there. I don't go in there beat my chest and doing that come at me bro shit.
You're scared when you go in, or respectful?
Yeah, 100%. It's a very southern vibe. Hey, speaking out to me, I don't mean to cause any ill will, but I'm kind of curious. People have spotted you here. Is there something you'd like to say? And if you don't want to talk, I appreciate it, or say go away and we'll leave. And if I got something that says go please, or go away, or get the hell out, or f you, usually I'll go ahead and take off. But yeah, I mean,
Don't blame you. Yeah, ski daddle down the road there.
no, but it's just a thing of it's okay. Talk to somebody from Memphis. Okay, if I heard damn gunshots going off every 5 minutes, I'd be slick up out of there. But they're going, yeah. It's kind of like people complain about mosquitoes. Damn mosquitoes, damn drive-bys. I don't get it. I'm a country mouse. Paducah's big enough for me. So but I mean, I have been lucky enough to go to pretty big towns here. Also go to Thailand, where I got to study about ghost culture in that area. But
Damn, dude, you went to Thailand?
yeah. See, our second boy, Joseph, when we had to fly there, we had to land there to talk to the orphanage and talk to the people and go through this big thing. And there was a coup in the middle of all that shit, and all exits were shut down. No planes, no water, no nothing. Can't go. Like the Cambodian people were on high alert because they knew there were a coup and they thought there may be an attack, maybe like some sort of
Dude,
what
that's
do you call it,
intense,
diversion.
man.
It was heavy, man. So we were there with this little boy who was deaf and did not speak a whole lot of Thai anyway because he knew sign. But you know what? Everybody was super cool, and because he was kind of raised Buddhist, we never tried to change that. Just well, that's your thing. So we got him a little Buddha statue. Actually, it's about 2 feet from me here in my office, and I wanted to say, hey, I want to know you guys. I don't want to deal with the touristy whatever. I want to talk. What do you guys do in a day? Walk us through your day. Show us your stuff. And they would cook for us and do things like that, and
Yeah.
we would cook on these great big walks and
Day-to-day
it
shit.
it was metal, man. It was really cool. And I said, tell me about the hungry ghost. Tell me about the crows. And I can tell you about the crows. They're heavy. A crows, if you're curious, is an Asian vampire.
Whoa.
They're a vampire, and they'll set and look like they're going to sleep. Well, what happens is you'll notice around their neck, those like muscles or bones and stuff start cracking. That weird grudgy shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, their heads disconnect from their body and float around looking for people to attack.
Sounds like
Creepy enough.
Castlevania too.
Creepy enough. I don't remember Castlevania 2 having them where all their organs were suspended from their necks.
Shit. I knew there was floating heads. That's all
Yeah.
That's what I'm
No, it's
talking about.
No, yeah, it's yeah. In the year in the year 2000, the old Conan thing. It's not just a floating head; it has all the organs, and they will gorge on a victim,
Whoa.
and
That's
then
intense.
they go back.
Sounds like a Slayer
heavy.
record.
It's metal, right?
Yeah.
So they go back and they have to force their organs back into the neck. So usually the neck's real bloated, and then that's usually how a lot of times they'll capture them because they can't get all their neck in before X amount of before sunlight, and that's how a lot of them get captured and killed. There's actual documented cases of this shit. So I don't fuck around. I don't fuck around in the woods in Thailand.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I bet you were ready to get home.
Well, no, I mean, there's that kind of paradigm, like was it Lalania or whatever, where the woman was wronged or something, and there's one in an Asian culture where the father split or something, and she was so distraught that she killed her and the child, and it's sort of like that, and then the husband comes back, and she's so enraged that she tries to kill him, and then she becomes a spirit because she like dies or is put down, so now she's a spirit of vengeance on like any man who's screwing up. So it's sort of like front page bad news. I mean, you can talk a little bit about like Death Note and all kinds of these type of archetypal Asian entities that are based on.
You just hit our audience on that. I mean, it's like pop culture and horror. I can't say horror.
See, my kids make fun of me. Okay, you know, I'm obviously I talk very Southern, but when I say the H word, I don't go horror.
Yeah.
I don't go horror. I go. I think I watch too much Boris Karloff, and I go horror.
Horror.
That's how it comes out.
You got the tongue roll in there.
Yeah, it has to be. It's man, too many damn years of Hammer films and all that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but there's a lot of that, and I mean they have like banana ghosts, all kinds of stuff you wouldn't think of. The hungry spirits are the worst. So say you're in a restaurant somewhere. A lot of times it's on the side of the street, cars, and sometimes people will drop their fork or something or a napkin with a little food on it. Don't pick it up because I mean people will stop you and go, "Don't touch that." And I always, you know, I didn't know what it was. I thought, well, maybe the floor is very dirty, which I mean they usually keep things really clean. But they go, no, hungry ghosts will come for you. And so I started reading up on it, and then I said, here, let me show you, and they'll give me, you know, examples. Or there was a woman that lived down here on the Soy, which is like a strand or whatever, like in Germany. Soy would be is like the equivalent in Thailand. And they said, yes, they did this, and she was devoured, you know, like a cord, like an apple.
Son of a bitch.
Crazy shit.
Damn.
Yeah, that's it. I do want to say that I am available for children's parties. And
damn, man, dude, I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to float just talking to you.
no, I'm a teddy bear, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I see that's very dark, and I take stuff seriously, though. I mean, when there's time to be serious, just like working in corrections or whatever, you've got to be serious. You hit that stage, and I get the same thing. The times that we played together, because I remember you guys come down and did a benefit. We were trying to raise food for like a local shelter and all that. And
in Princeton, you're talking about teenage rehab? Yeah,
teenage rehab, yes. And we were down there, and I remember, I'm pretty sure it was you because I made a real cool picture where you look like Havoc, and I made like these circles coming off your chest. It was pretty damn metal.
I kind of remember that actually.
Yeah,
I have an elephant memory. I remember the gig completely, but I don't remember the picture.
You also remember that was a time that we were going to put out an EP called Token Got Arrested. He actually got picked up, and they let us finish our set, and then they took our drummer.
I remember that.
It was very Blues Brothers feeling. You know, we're finishing the show. Just keep playing. They're going to arrest them. We keep playing.
That was a fun gig.
That was a fun gig, man.
Yeah, street cred, man. But you know what I remember most about that, Steve, is talking to you outside and realizing that you're just the fucking kindest dude in the world. That's why we wanted to get you on here because, it's great that you got all this going on. Seriously.
You're going to make me cry. No, see, that's the thing.
Yeah, Munch remembers where he met you now. It was in Princeton because he was driving for teenage rehab at the time.
Yeah, because we went outside and you were hanging out in the van.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make sure that you guys ate and said, hey, man, because we had a hot dog vendor, which I thought was like big shit. I was like, hey, man, nobody's got to drive all the way into town. These hot dogs, boom, boom, boom. Hooked it up. He was a good guy. But
that's awesome, man.
The thing was too that I don't know how much fighting you've done.
None. I'm a pussy.
Oh, okay. All right, think about it like this. You're trying to be the first into a convention. You're trying to be the first kid to get under the raise bar when they raise up in front of the shop to get in there and get that new, Fun Pop doll or whatever it is. Funko Pop or whatever. I'm saying it.
Funko Pop. There you go.
Funko Pops. It's like that. I would start pacing. And I would kind of get that kind of Wolverine, shoulders down, maybe a little Danzig-y, maybe a little bit. And I was like, we're going to fucking hit this. We're going to hit it really hard. And I'd get super, super, super intense.
Yeah.
Because that's just who I was. I still get that way a little bit before signings. I'm not like, we're going to fucking wreck this shit. Come running into a fucking book. Start clotheslining people and shit.
But you take it serious. You take what you do serious.
And it's punk. I mean,
and you should.
Punk. It's that vibe of going. My first two books I went through a mainline publisher. Freaking hated it. I made almost zero money, and that's not the problem.
So they were like big name, like Scholastic and Schuster or something like that.
Well, Simon and Schuster carried it to a
That's huge.
subsidiary through Permuted Press, who's out of Nashville. I'm not saying they're horrible people, but I would have started if I stayed with them. And I know a lot of people that are trying to sue their asses too. I mean, I understand. I've still got books tied up in them that I can't release with anybody else.
That sucks,
Because-
man. I've got
yeah, but
records
you know what?
and shit like that. They're all. I had to
Right.
pull them off Spotify because someone else was getting the royalties, all the
Right.
pennies from those royalties.
Right.
I understand
And
that stuff.
Well, but you know what? It taught me the nature of that game. In music, I wouldn't have gave a shit if we went to play a punk show. And it was kind of like, well, look, man, we can't pay you. Whatever, will you take merch? I remember one of the times I seen you, I was like, hey, man, can we trade some merch? I'd love to have some of your stuff. Like, I remember like we played in Memphis, and I was like, just know you need to play Abuse Your Gun because I'm going to fucking be bouncing off people.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was a really big deal because it was so funny because, and I'll get back to the horror stuff. I'm sorry.
That's all
But
right.
like I said, we had that, and I come at you funny, and I don't think I didn't mean to come off like this because I was like, yeah, you know some of those songs. you remember I was like, hey man, you know some of those songs? I actually wrote those songs.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
not from Rehab, not
But
from
Dive
Rehab.
Bombers.
Dive Bombers, yeah.
Which is a great
And-
band. Love that band.
Well, you know, and I talked to Bill later about that, and he says, no. I said, I told everybody that you wrote part of it. I said, some of these I freaking wrote all of them, Bill.
right.
And it's just, but that's okay. You know what? That's fine. Water under the bridge. But it was a thing I felt at the time I had something to prove, and I think that's why I came in so hardcore.
Yeah, I understand that, man. I really
well,
do.
Well, writing was different though. Writing, how do I describe it? It ain't happy little trees, but it's more like, here it is. I'm going to start writing chapters. Punk, 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 punk. I don't know what the book's going to be necessarily called, where it's going to go. I know if it's about a certain location. The freest I've been was when I did the short stories for Darker Nights, which is going to be coming up. But all what I was getting back with Permuted, all of this now is self.
I was just going to ask, is that's your DIY spirit coming out?
Well, and you know what? I'm such a, I don't know. It's a flip side. Perfectionist and dig. Okay, you got Mozart and you got Danzig, and I love them both.
Yeah.
But my friend, I was trying to help my nephew one time, and he was wanting to do kind of a G.G. Allen and Jabbers kind of thing. And
I
so
know
I'm
the
playing-
Jabbers.
Right, the Jabbers, right, man. So I'm trying to show him this, and I'm trying to say, okay, when I give you a nod, go into the chorus. You know how it is, man.
Yeah.
People kind of know, like you're sitting there playing, and you kind of see your shoulders, and you're getting ready to go like that, and they're going, oh shit, he's ready to drop and get ready.
Right.
He got none of those cues, and he said it was like working with Simon Cowell. He said, because I was like, no, that's fucking awful. Stop. Okay, we were doing that. It's okay. You're going to get it. After about the 12th, 15th time, I was like, did you eat lead chips? What is freaking wrong with you, dude? And I love this kid. He's a grown guy, but he's just like, man, I said I was shaking by the time I left. It's just like, he's going to boot camp. And I said, I'm sorry, man. I'm an asshole. I don't mean to be. It's just, I take my music seriously. That's my church. Just like when I write stuff, that's my church.
Right.
And so I don't know. I love music, but I had to step away from it.
I understand that completely, man. I really do. What's cool for me is I get to take time off from music to do this stuff. So I totally understand it. Not that you need a break from either of them, but I totally understand.
No. Don't get me wrong. Music is a huge part. It's in the stories. If I'm talking about, sometimes if we're driving somewhere, I'll mention a really cool ass song, or some obscure blues, Delta blues song or something, or I'm very much like the City of Angels thing. With Nicolas Cage, which underrated, Nicolas Cage, and I'll fight anybody that questions my comment. When he was talking to Meg Ryan about like eating a pear, and it says, I want you to describe it like Hemingway would, the texture and this and that, and if the meat of it was yielding and whatever. That should be the name of this thing. The meat is yielding. But it's
I like that.
I want to have, in the music, I want it to be visceral. In the art that I do, which I do draw and charcoal and paint. But because damn it, I'm not doing enough. I want it to be like, oh, I know what it feels like. I know the sound of the cobblestones. I know kind of the dampness of the walls. Maybe it's like kind of acidic of the water from the river eroding the rock, and a little bit of the slime, and a little bit of the even decay of like leaves and just all this stuff inside of a building.
Very detailed.
It's got to be. what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, if I want to do something else, I'm write freaking Goosebumps, which I can't really say it against Goosebumps. It had some good shit, but I don't write for little kids.
You wouldn't do
there's-
Goosebumps, dog?
Dude. Okay, now don't get me wrong. Well, no, it's like this, man.
Stevie Stein.
No, I'm too dirty. I'm too dirty mouth, man. And I mean, even my kids, you know, I try to be very whatever, but they're hip. They're hip about the real world. They're hip about this and that. They're hip that you have to go out there and perform. People expect you to perform. And if that's something cool, it's hey, back from it is with baskets and you know whatever, make pair of shirts, what the hell ever. Do your thing, but you know. You got to make a choice. You want to be rich, you want to be happy.
Absolutely. I'm broke as hell, but I'm happy. That's awesome, man. Well, listen, we're gonna wrap this phone call up for our listeners, but I've got some questions for you on the geek side of things. You ready?
Lay it on me.
Greatest superhero for Steve Asher.
Oh God, man! It depends on when you're asking me. You're asking me when I was like 10 years old or now.
I'll give you childhood and now.
Okay, I used to be able to run on my hands and my feet, like the Beast. I love the Beast.
At first, I was thinking like one of He-Man's tigers or something. Battle Cat. That's what I'm thinking.
That's it. Yeah,
Ace Ventura. That's great.
Battle Cat. No.
And I'm only
no.
asking these questions so that your audience and my audience gets to know you better.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously, everybody, you know, especially in the 80s, like Wolverine and stuff. I really dug Captain Britain, just like I dug Captain America,
Damn,
just like I
that's a
dug Ben
deep
Grimm.
cut, bro.
That's how I go.
I know.
But it's a thing where I also dug Colossus because it's just like the Hulk, you know, nothing can hurt you.
Right. Munch's
Nothing can get to you.
favorite character is Colossus. Can you
Colossus
hear
is-
him if he talks? Can you hear him? Steve, can you hear Munch?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you can hear?
You can hear him?
Oh, sweet, dude. I fucking love Colossus. Colossus is my shit.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I used to, okay, I still do. Like if we cook chicken or something, if we cook chicken and we have like tinfoil over the top, I'll take it, you know, the side that's not jacked up, and I'll put it on my head and I'll kind of
my
mold it to
God.
my face.
That's awesome, man.
I would do that, or I would do like Dr. Doom, and I'd put like a little cloak over the thing. I'm such a damn fool, but I would
Oh, that's
because I
awesome,
liked him.
man.
I liked him too because you know what? He was jacked up. He was beat the hell down, but he still rose to power. You know, I mean, obviously there's enchantments from his mother, but
He did sacrifice his first love to Satan at one time, but you know.
well,
Well, who
got to
hasn't?
crack a few eggs, right?
Yeah, you got to crack it. Make an omelet. I said to crack an omelet, you got to make an egg.
That's it. Whatever works. Yeah,
Right.
make an egg. That's a talent. But no, I mean, you know, how do you think I got this book deal? But yeah,
That's great. Okay, well, I'm gonna move on then. Favorite
Wait,
super villains as a
Damn,
kid
well,
and as an
as a-
adult. Yeah, I mean, you just named Doom, but he also cried when the towers fell in 9/11.
well, he was an
Spider-Man
anti-hero.
30.
He was an anti. He went through some shit. He saw some shit. I can't really say he's a pure villain. Now,
Right.
like say, like, well, I mean, the older I get, what was the old thing? You used to want to be Batman. You get older, you identify with the Joker. Maybe not that damn new movie.
That's cool.
But
That's cool. That's a great statement, though. That's a good T-shirt.
yeah, I'm sure it's there. But
Oh fuck, never mind.
Mephisto, I really dug Mephisto back in the day.
Damn, you are
I-
fucking rad,
I-
dude.
And
knew I
I'm
loved
trying
you.
to think. I mean, I think I love you too, man. But I'm trying to think. Are you talking just especially Marvel? You're talking DC?
I'm
You're
talking
like
super
variant?
I'm talking in the comic book world. Valiant
Just comic
Comics,
book world.
Dark Horse originals, not Star Wars shit.
Yeah,
Marvel,
no,
DC.
well, I mean, I've got Darth Vader, a big Darth Vader thing, fucking 4 feet from my bed. I've got the 1977 Star Wars poster thing over here behind me in my office.
That's awesome.
So-
man. So you're a
so
Vader
obviously-
guy? Do you like Kylo Ren?
I think
This is the
Kylo.
question, man. This is the question that fucks
Okay.
everyone up.
No, well, I'm trying to figure out how to answer this and not sound like a total shithead. I think
Say, like, there's going to be someone on this podcast who's against you, so you might
there may not be a right answer to this. It's like that Snoodler's cat. You open the box, close the box. Is it still there?
Yeah.
Kylo, I think, would be. Well, it depends if you're looking at canon or like, the expanded universe books. But I think in the end, obviously, he's going to turn around. But your question is, do I like him?
Yeah. Do you like him?
I kind of want to throat punch him half the time.
Yeah.
But
That's a lot of
I know
answers.
I know he's got some strength or strength, that they'd say in my old neighborhood.
Strong.
Strength. He's got the strength.
I like that.
But I'm curious to what's going to happen. First of all, do you think? Now, I've heard this. I've heard Palpatine's coming back. It's going to be Matt Smith from Doctor Who, which I love. But then, is he going to be a Force ghost? Is Anakin going to be a Force ghost? Is going to be a Hansen guy or whatever his name was, the curly guy that showed his nipples and stuff? I don't want to see that guy's nipples again, unless they're burned. If he's burned up like Darth Vader,
Whose
then
nipples
then
are
you
we
can show
talking
us.
about?
We're talking about the
Hayden
freaking
Christensen's nipples.
that one, Hayden Christensen.
There
Yeah,
you
I don't
go.
want to see his nipples. I didn't need to see Darth Vader's nipples.
We did see Kylo Ren's almost nude body, and he looked like SpongeBob SquarePants.
He needs to. Yeah, he needs to. He needs to kind of go for the gains. I say train with like Rollins a little bit.
Hey, this
serious.
ties right into your subject matter. Here's my predictions. I feel that the Emperor Palpatine is a dark force over the universe, and he's going to possess or try to possess Rey or Ren on either side of the spectrum to get his machinations accomplished. That's what I
think he'll play both sides. I think he'll pull a Rothschild conspiracy theory. Pull a Rothschild and play both sides of the fence.
I do too.
And I'm curious to see how they pull off the Knights of Ren. And I wonder if we're ever going to see the I know this. I'm blanking out. The early pre-Jedi. The wills. I wonder if they're going to include the wills in this. I wonder if what's going to come down, because, like you said, Luke and his wife had force sensitive kids and this and that. I don't know, man. I'm wondering how much they're going to screw it up, or
They'll fuck it up.
If they put on their goddamn Jar Jar Binks, I'll hang myself. I can't
Right.
do that.
Guys, we have a Star Wars band.
We do have a Star Wars band, so we'll
Jumping in right now and stomping on that one.
so we'll move on to the next question.
I saw Adam's eyes light up.
What did you think of Thanos in Endgame and Infinity War?
You mean in comparison to his portrayal in Marvel Comics, or his portrayal as
Just
a character?
in general,
period?
because a lot of people think that he was right.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Am I talking without compassion? If I'm talking pure science and pure analytical, 110% correct. He should have killed more.
That's awesome. Here's why I say that. I heard at the store today, and I'll run this by you real quick, that the Joker movie's too violent. And I said, hey, guys, I think he killed like 6 people in the movie. And most of them deserved it, whether he was a good character or a bad character. But I never heard of this controversy about Thanos killing half the fucking universe. Nobody said shit.
Right. But you know what? Half the universe is full of assholes anyway, man. He did us a service. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, going for realism. I guess you're right, Adam. But okay, and then I've got to say, Steve Asher, the spirit of vengeance. So when I think of you, and I was driving over here to do this, I said, that's fucking Ghost Rider. He's bald, and he's fucking about spirits. And you mentioned the spirit of vengeance earlier. That's fucking right up your alley, right? Did you like Ghost Rider growing up?
Oh, well, actually, the first Marvel. Okay, there were 2 comics. Do you remember Zombie?
Just Zombie? Hell yeah. He looks like Dee Dee Ramone, but he's dead.
He looks like he's been hitting the roids real hard.
Yeah, for real.
Fucking Dee Dee Ramone.
He's got
Dee
the
Dee
Dee Dee
Ramone was my
Ramone
favorite.
hair. Yeah, Dee Dee Ramone's a genius, man.
Okay, I will tell you this: the only reason that I can stand Ramones is Warthog.
That sounds great, man.
That is dark. I told some people that I just read some lyrics, like, hey, what do you think of these lyrics? And it was people that dug Ramones. And I used some of the terminology, talked about commies and different type of terminology, kind of derogatory terms. You're like, whoa, hey man, this is a chill place. Like, whoa, man, that's your band.
Yeah.
So, but it was the flip side of what they were living. Was it right? Was it wrong? I don't know. But it's a slice of the environment.
That's why this show's called Blitzkrieg Pop. We love the Ramones.
Well, if you ever heard the song Product of My Environment by the Circle Jerks?
Hell yeah, of course.
That's me.
Hell yeah.
I was kinda
live fast, die young.
Yeah, which I hate that Keith won't play that anymore, which I mean, I know he kind of went off and did all. Well, went off. Pardon the term.
He went
the
off.
pun, but
Yeah.
went to off and did all that. And then they had Flag and all that. But so I mean, I try to stay relatively current as I can, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm going to go around the table and ask these guys if they have any closing things they want to say to you. Munch
Well, first off, of course, I love Ghost Rider, so Spirit of Vengeance, right up
and Colossus.
Colossus, and Mephisto. I mean, right up my alley.
You guys are best friends.
Oh, yeah. We're
I'm down.
friends. And I do remember who you are because I remember hanging out in the back of the van with you.
Totally.
Okay. Well,
Totally.
that's cool, man. Well, I'll tell you this about Ghost Rider real quick. As of my first comic that I ever picked up with Marvel, it was Ghost Rider. It was oh god, man, I'm trying to remember the episode. He had already had like the black looking suit and stuff, which I also liked Dead Man, who had sort of a similar looking suit to Ghost Rider, I thought. But yeah, I'm trying to remember the episode. It was one of the probably in the 60s or 70s. It's pretty early. And I just thought the cover was freaking awesome. And I went, damn, that guy's bad. But that was, I think it was my first Marvel time.
Yeah. What's his name? Plug? Yeah. He's great covers. Great covers. And we lost last year. What's his name? Gary Friedrich. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at guys like Arthur Adams and all these other guys that put out all these type of characters and had a very distinctive look. Walter Simonson, that was my freaking daddy on this.
That's
I tried to
awesome.
draw comics. It was a kind of and laugh all you want, but that's some of the people that influenced me. Arthur Adams, Kirby.
Fucking Kirby gets mentioned on every episode. We love him.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, what do you think of Rob
Yeah.
Liefeld from the 90s?
Rob Liefeld, of course. Well, I always had a tendency of drawing very overly exaggerated biceps and shit.
Yeah, what about ankles and feet?
Fuck ankles and feet. Hands and feet don't fucking matter.
Yeah. Hey, ghosts
not
don't
important.
use ankles, right?
They don't need them.
That's awesome. But they have a healthy amount of pouches on their belt.
Patches? It's
Yeah.
it's the economically devoid ghost.
there
It's
you
like
go.
from the inner city ghost.
Okay,
Jacob Marley over here.
that's right. All right.
Jacob favorite. That is one of my favorite ghost stories, by the way. Everybody forgets that Christmas Carol was actually a ghost story.
The hell yeah, it's fucking great too, man. Fucking awesome. Skeletor versus He-Man. Who wins? That's a classic battle.
I've always thought Skeletor. I always thought the whole thing with He-Man. Either He-Man was schizophrenic or Skeletor was schizophrenic,
Yeah.
and they were just two sides of the same person.
I think they're the same person. Anyways, I think Skeletor is very metal.
Always, yes.
Yeah, he's metal as fuck. All right, and then I got a few more questions. You ready for this?
Lay it on me.
All right, here it comes. This is a big one. Spider-Man or Batman?
That I like better, or I think that would win, or do I
No,
think,
that you like better.
I don't know. It depends on my mood. I tend to be kind of a darker. I don't want to say I'm goth. I'm a little bit too round to be a goth.
Oh, I
But-
hate you now. No, I'm
don't-
kidding.
hey, man. I'm just an odd cat. I think I probably would have fit in with grave diggers and shit.
Oh, that's
But,
awesome, man.
But I don't know, man. I liked it. Depends on what Spider-Man you're talking about. Are you talking about the more hopeful one, or are you talking about one of the clones? Or are you talking about?
Oh,
which one
never
are you
talking about a clone, you fuck. I hate the clones.
Hey, you asked. What did I tell you? I'm thorough.
Yeah,
That's why
no,
I
yeah,
looked at all
you
my
are,
options.
man. You got it going on. Well, listen, man, I'm getting the go home cues for these guys. Thank you for doing this. Is there anything you want to promote besides your website or an upcoming signing?
Well, let me think, man. I know that, like I was telling you, on the 28th of this month, the Willard Library doohickey. That's going to be really freaking cool.
That's going to be
And
awesome.
then I'm
Sounds
also going to
like.
be doing on. Let me look here. I'm blind as fuck, guys. Why did I get old? Why did I get old? I'm also going to be doing some other investigations around here. That's going to be pretty cool. But the book, Hauntings of Kentucky State Penitentiary, Habitual Hauntings, at the Castle on the Cumberland, will drop Halloween. The Kindle version's out, and shortly the
That's
written book
awesome.
will be out. I do plan on trying to come up and maybe do a signing over Paducah Books. I got to give them a nod.
Cool, man. They're
Chris,
next
my
door
man.
to Infinite Collectibles. Lots of people that listen to this podcast live in fucking Brazil and Buenos Aires and wherever the fuck. So they don't know. I guess I said that wrong because I'm Kentucky, but they don't know about Infinite Collectibles. But if you guys are local, You can meet Steve Asher. You can talk to this guy. You can even have him come in your house and perform an exorcism.
I'll come in there and make a sandwich while I'm there. Just,
He's got it going on, man. He'll fucking make you a bologna sandwich and get rid of the fucking ghost in your house. Steve, thank you for being on the Blitzkrieg Pop, man. We love you, and I can't wait to do it again. Maybe we'll do it next Halloween.
That sounds killer, man. And like I said, who knows, man? A lot of times I'll take people that I know and kind of put like aspects of them into different characters. Who knows, man? Some of you guys may end up in one of my books.
Hey, that's cool. Just give me all the royalties. I want 50 cents.
All right, that's probably how many to sell.
That's more than my fucking Teenage Rehab royalties, man. 11 cents a year. Hey, but brother, we'll talk to you down the road. Thank you for everything. We'll be sharing all your links and everything, and you'll hear from me soon.
Totally. Yeah, I love everybody, and God bless your family and your kids and your dogs.
Man. It's great what you do with the families and the kids, man. God bless you. You're great. You're a great person.
I'll say this one thing: if you do have something weird, creepy going in your house, don't freak out. Just talk to whatever it is and kind of go, "Hey, look, man, you kind of need to blow." I don't know why I would say it like a 1930s detective. Need to blow.
A blow job? No.
I don't. Well, you know what? If you got that, go send it to my house. Yeah, that actually happened. Dan Aykroyd said. He said, yeah, he had a dream, and that's from, you understand, Dan Aykroyd is from a 4th or 5th generation spiritualist family. That's the whole reason, because of his grandfather did that type of investigations. That's the whole reason there was that movie, and we can talk about that the next time I'm on.
That's fucking badass. Did Ghost leave jelly slime behind?
I don't know. I mean, he left some slime behind because I guess he was half awake. But
that's awesome, man. Well, I'll talk to you down the road. We're gonna hit the go home here, so I'll talk to you later, brother. Thank you. Thanks for being on.
Absolutely. Be safe.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.